Hello everyone, this is Lofabre and welcome to the 8th part of this tutorial for ES2 Penumbra expansion. This one will be about the use of manpower, food and population growth by the new faction Umbral Choir. I have no intention of doing it, but after reading some questions and comments on Games Together platform, I link you this thread in the tutorial description if you're interested. I'll explain some things about how to manage manpower and population growth with Umbral Choir, because I think it may be useful to explain, although I haven't any intention of doing it when I started recording the tutorial series. So the first part, let's go to our home system and I'll explain you. I've got every planet completely full of population and I'm producing, here you can see, over 600 food. I'm producing 725 of food with a normal faction. This will imply that I can grow any population because I've got no free slots on the system, and also even growing over 300, which is the standard food requirements for growing one population unit, I will only be able to grow 1 unit per turn regardless my food production. But with Umbral Choir, this is different. You can grow more than 1 population unit per turn due to the particularities of having only one system and sending extra population to sanctuaries. This population will be sent to sanctuaries, and in this case we will grow 2 population in next turn because we are producing it's 725 food. This will be 300 per population, so 2 population units that will be sent anywhere else. Just look here, we've got our home system, sort by population, at 33, and our sanctuaries with their population. So just click enter and look at this. It's a bit tedious, sorry about. Well, as you can see here, my home system is full, and the last 2 sanctuaries that previously has 1 population each now has 2. This is because what I explained you before, the population growth of Umbral Choir is different, like everything with Umbral Choir. It really can grow more than population unit per turn, and once your system is completely full, it's sent to sanctuaries. If we've got any slot in our system, it will grow first on our system and then should send to the sanctuaries with less population. You've seen here, it was sent to the ones with only 1 population. Of course, I'm not taking in account that you got the sanctuary link to send population to a destination if you want to do it. But there's a specific tutorial about it. Well, some people also complained about the difficulties of managing manpower with Umbral Choir. You will be almost always short of manpower. What can you do? Well, I told you in the first tutorial of this series that they got 2 specific traits. This is dark matter manipulators, that means plus 0.5 manpower from idle bandwidth, and a immaterial population, that means minus 75% food to manpower on systems. This both means that you'll get most few manpower from empty bandwidth, and very little from from food. What you can do to get more manpower? One is go here to the hacking screen and have this bar with lots of units manpower, which is easy at endgame when you got lots of bandwidth, but very hard at game start. And the second you can do is produce a lot of food, that even if going a few part to manpower will compensate because you will be producing a lot of food. And the third option is to use chain gang. Chain gang will have some peculiar thing with I'll get rid of this, sorry. This is peculiar when you use it with Umbral Choir, because chain gang with any other faction will kill one unit population per turn, but due to Umbral Choir being able to grow more than one unit population per turn, you can use it without losing much population. Let's see, I put chain gang on my queue. Look at this, 33 population on my home system, 2 on every sanctuary, and because I'm growing more than one unit population due to having more than 600 food per turn, I'll be growing 2 population units. Let's chain gang and click enter. And look at my manpower at 800. Let's end the turn. Well, as you can see, I got 300 manpower, which may be useful to compensate for the natural lack of manpower. And if I sort my systems by population, you can see now that here, instead of growing 2 populations, I've got 2 on every sanctuary, I only grow 1 population. In this sanctuary, my home system was full, and I'm not sure what happened here, if it's that chain gang simply slowed my population growth, or if it killed 1 population unit, but as I was growing 2 populations per turn, the net result was a growth of 1 population unit. So I grow 2 populations and 1 was killed with a net result of 1 population growth per turn. But what I want to explain you is that after this point, when you are growing more than 1 population unit per turn, due to how Umbral Choir mechanics population work, you can use chain gang every turn to compensate for their natural lack of manpower every turn without being afraid of losing population. Just an experiment. What I'll do now is to scrap all food, put chain gang again, and scrap all food improvements. Just pick them. Think I didn't forget anyone. What I want to do is having only 8 food per turn, so in theory it will take 3 turns to grow 1 population. I suspect this is with stock, or well, really this turn I won't grow a population and put chain gang. And let's look what happened with my populations. Sorry about. Let's see if I can enter now. Let's enter and look at populations 33 on my home system, 2 on every sanctuary. This one has 3, sorry. And after using Schengen, as you can see, 32 population on my home system. So really Schengen was killing one population, but as you can grow more than one, if you are growing one or more populations per turn, you can use safely Schengen without losses to compensate for your low manpower income. I know some of you may be asking, what if I got every population on my home system made of Umbral shadows? This is a very good question. Well, just me advance a bit. It will take only 1 second as I'll stop recording while loading a new game. Here we are, and let's go to my home system. And what you can see here is that I've got every population turned into Umbral shadows. Well, I've got also lots of population in my purview on sanctuaries. And let's change them. And look what will happen. I'm growing lots of population per turn. It's 2,634 food per turn, so I'll be growing, well, I don't know, lots of population. I'm lazy to calculate it now. Let's look what happened. As I'm not sure if some population growth in my sanctuaries, I think this one growth 1. The interesting thing is that I used Schengen and didn't lose any of my Umbral shadows. So if you want to compensate your manpower at this point, you can use safely Schengen and your Umbral shadows won't be killed. My hypothesis about this is that what Schengen does is to kill the population that will grow next turn, and because Umbral shadows didn't grow, normally they have to be abducted. Schengen doesn't kill them, and what it does is to kill one population of one of your sanctuaries. And because I'm producing all that food, no population was taken of my sanctuaries. Just to do an experiment, let me don't try this at home. This is a very bad decision if you are seeing this tutorial and new to the game, but this is an experiment. I will decolonize all my sanctuaries. Why I'm doing this is to ensure all my population are Umbral shadows. A bit tedious. Let me pause and decolonize everything. Well, I'm back. For you it was less than a second, but what I did is to decolonize all my sanctuaries, so externally I'll have my home system, then I'll put Schengen, and look what happens. Get rid of every things. And here we are. I got no sanctuaries, so all my population are umbral shadows now. Let's change and look what happens. Sorry, this doesn't allow me because I'm at max manpower. I'll spend some manpower. You cannot change if you can produce more than 300 food per turn or you are at max manpower. So I have this in mind. Sorry about this little, but let's change and look what happened. And here, I don't know exactly why. I suspect the reason is that Chaingang picks the next population to growth, and as I explained it, Umbral Shadows doesn't grow normally, so they will never be picked. I suspect this is the reason, but as you can see, Chaingang didn't kill any of my population, and I'll show you I'm at max manpower again. Yes, so I get the manpower, and somewhat I could use Chaingang to refill it without killing any Umbral Shadows. So my corollary is, if you are playing Umbral Core and are short of manpower, you can Chaingang almost freely because it well, if you can see it almost freely if you are producing more than 300 food per turn, because in this case it will have a neat result of 0 population killed, or even only slow your growth, and also it seems doesn't killing any Umbral Shadows. So here I explained it a bit how Umbral Core grows their population, and also how to compensate for your lack of manpower in this way. You also, of course, if you look at my improvements, you can use patriotic pills and all the stuff. I swore I have it built in some place here, because you are producing lots of food, and even going a little to manpower, you can use it to build some manpower. Also, you can't compensate with your hero a bit. And I think this is everything I wanted to tell you in this tutorial part. I hope this is the last, but if you have some questions, you can leave it on my YouTube channel comments, and I will make what I can to answer you in a video tutorial. I hope it was useful for you, and see you another time. Thanks for seeing.